increase in the cases.
I've just arrived here at Park na Bealton in St Johnston. This is my ID, Councillor Frank McBurdy, and what looks like has started by the developer of this development is the rebuilding of the outer skin of blocks. Now the council owns half of this property. This development was sold by the developer back a number of years ago. So half the houses in this development are council owned properties now, and the developer didn't disclose to anyone, as far as I'm aware at the minute, that these properties have mica and possibly pyrite and pyrrolite. So I'm going over now to check out with the foreman or a site agent if they've disclosed any of the information that I'm going to ask them now in a second. So I'm going to keep this rolling at the minute to see what the reaction is. My name's Frank McBurdy. I'm a county councillor.
Right.
Right? There's my ID.
Okay.
Now, who's in charge?
Well, I'm sort of looking after things, yeah.
Well, I want to ask a few questions here. Did you notify the council about the fact that you are starting to do work on the outer skin of blocks that have mica? Did you disclose to the council, who bought these houses in good faith, that they have mica? Did you give the engineer's report that you have on these properties over to the council? Them properties were built by the developer here and sold. Those properties over there were sold by the developer to the council.
Right.
So the council have a responsibility here for health and safety. The developer has a responsibility here for health and safety. And what I'm asking now is, what engineer did the reports on this, and what engineer is in charge of this job? And the name of the developer, who I know personally.
Well, do you know who owns these houses?
Am I getting it?
No.
Well, who owns them now?
They belong to a fellow from Dungiven.
Dungiven. So they were sold. They were sold. No, I'm not turning it off, because people need to understand that I'm going to expose this. I'm going to expose the corruption concerning mica, pyrite and pyrrolite, like I did with the guards. I'm going to expose the exact same things what I did with the guards.
That's 100%. I understand where you're coming from, but this here...
I'm not blaming you personally. You're only a workman doing your job, right?
Exactly.
You're employed to do your job. But the people who own these properties have a duty to tell the council, or tell the members of the council, which I'm one of them, to tell them that these properties are covered in mica. And in my opinion today, no engineer in Ireland can sign off on remedial works. So that's why I want to know who the engineer is. By law, these engineers have to recommend demolition of these properties. And as a block clearer, which I am myself, and a steel fixer and shutter, I know the building game inside out. And it's the responsibility of these engineers to ensure that these houses are demolished, not a plaster carriage put on them.
Well, we're living in safe, so nobody gets hurt.
Aye, but this is the thing about it. This whole place should be cordoned off doing this type of work. I mean, where's the certificates? Where's the proper site notices? Did the developer, or did the people that own these properties, did they inform planning and Donegal County Council what they were going to do with these properties?
Aye, what they did or
Because
didn't do,
these properties that were built by the same developer are over here, over here. See over here. They're the exact same properties as these.
I'm with you.
And I mean, some of these properties were leased to the council on long-term leasing schemes.
These here are privately owned.
They're privately owned, but they were leased. Some of them were leased. They're no longer leased. They were sold in to private investors that bought them off the developer. And I think it's totally unfair to these people across in these tenant houses watching this type of work happening here, because it's giving them false hope, because these properties technically have to be demolished. So I would advise you I have already contacted the senior executives of the council to have this work stopped.
Right, well, I know nothing about that.
But I'm not blaming you personally, you're only a workman. But I mean, this needs to be stopped. This carry on with engineers recommend remedial works.
That's just living.
I mean, who is the engineer? I mean, an engineer must have give you a job to do here.
I don't know nothing about it.
I mean, the engineer signed off on this. I mean, that's not going to fix the problem with pyrite or mica. I mean, anybody who knows anything about building work knows that this block here that you're going into here now is covered in mica. That's only a temporary fix there. And anybody who's bought that house, in my opinion, have a case against the state. Off the developer, and because of what manufacturers have done in this county, people have a case against the state.
You're probably 100% right, and that's the way it should be.
Oh, that's the way it is, because my family are taking multiple cases against the state.
Yeah.
You probably know me, but you don't know me at the same time.
Who is?
I'm Frank McBrady.
But I can give you a number of the fella.
No, I've demanded the executive of the council to close up this job now until there's answers. People here doing engineers reports and not handing them over to the council so the council can know that their own properties have mica. It's not on. This has got to stop.
I can only do what I'm told.
And I mean, just take a look. I mean, temporary fix. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the workmanship, but the problem is that that's only a temporary fix there for mica.
It's leaving it safe so nobody gets killed.
No, it's not leaving it safe, because the inner skin has got mica. I know my own house has got mica.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't understand how you can start a job like this without going through the council and having the proper procedures in place. I mean, this is a major construction job here. I mean, do you get them blocks from Cassidy's?
No.
Hey?
No, they're not Cassidy's blocks.
But where's the blocks from?
If I take a picture.
Where's the blocks from? Are they from Chambers or are they from Robinson's?
Chambers.
Hey?
Chambers.
Well, at least we'll know that the blocks will be safe enough when they're rebuilt. But the problem is the block behind that insulation is not safe. Not only that, was any of those wall ties rusted when you took that down?
No.
None. Well, they look like new wall ties. The original wall ties was in that building. Have they been taken out?
No.
Can you definitely verify that none of those wall ties were rusted?
I can verify it.
Because if they're rusted, that means there's pyrolite in the building. I mean, you basically telling me the man owns these houses now. How many houses does he own here now that the developer sold them? And they probably knew, he didn't know at the time that he was sold mica properties.
I can give you a number for that, man, if you want to.
Aye, give me the number. Just shout it onto the phone there.
I'm a bit camera shy myself now, so.
What do you call?
You didn't video me.
Well, I won't video anymore. Just speak now and give me the number.
I can give you the number of the man who owns it. It's not. I understand what you're doing there.
I mean, he'll get my number on the website, on the council webpage. Just give him my number to ring me. But the fact is that this here shouldn't be happening. I mean, this is an unauthorised development. That's what basically it's classed as, because there's no proper health and safety here. This is the same as me doing work at my own house.
This is his own house.
I know it is, but the problem is the man was sold a faulty product by the developer and his rights. And I need to inform him of those rights. And his rights are that the state didn't protect him buying his property.
Right, well, I can give you a number for him if you want to get me right.
I know I will take your number. But what I'm going to say to you is, this man that bought this property, these properties that have been done here today, has rights because he was sold a faulty product by the developer. And not only that, the developer sold faulty products to Donegal County Council that these poor tenants are living in.
I'll get your number if you want to ring.
How's it going? It's some joke, this. Developers selling mica properties to private landlords. The landlord doesn't even know that the fact that his rights have been infringed by the developer selling him a Mica house. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Not taking down the outer skin outside and only doing the gable wall. I'll be contacting John McLaughlin directly after I leave here, and I'll be demanding this job be closed up. Closed up, and the rights of our tenants in Donegal County Council are not even being looked at by the council. And a private owner of 2 properties took it upon himself to do this type of work himself. No health and safety, no proper certificate, but you can't really blame the house owner. He's trying to fix his rental properties with no help from government, no help from anybody. And if this man would come to me, I would get him the proper legal advice to take on the state and sue the state for what they've done to him and what they've done to all the victims of Mica and pyrite and pyrrolite. Just take a look at the health and safety issues here today in a public council housing estate, half of it owned by the people in Donegal County Council that bought them off the developer that built these properties in the first place with Mica, pyrite and pyrrolite. Children playing, there's children playing here every day, pedestrians walking past, cars walking past, and we have people, as far as I'm concerned, working on an unauthorised development that has no permission to do the work that they're doing.